exactly the kind of love.
Yo, good people. It's your homie HerbMan. Busting you back upside the head with another hot banger. Boogie, please go tell somebody to go tell somebody your homie HerbMan is on. Yes, sir. And if you're new to the program, welcome. Please follow and subscribe on all the platforms at Love HerbMan. All right, so I am your neighborhood holistic practitioner. I'm your homie HerbMan. We're coming live from South Africa. You guys live on YouTube, live on TikTok. Please go get somewhere, get situated. And while you're watching the HerbMan show, this is where we teach people how to heal themselves. And you cannot heal yourself unless you know thyself. So we teach you here about the human frame and the human design in a way that you've never heard before. Okay. And this way that you understand this, you're going to get your way to happiness, wholeness, and wellness. Okay. So this is a free information station. You guys don't have to pay for anything that you hear here today. All you simply got to do is pay attention. And how we do that on the HerbMan show is by double tapping that screen to get us up to 100,000 likes during the live broadcast. All right. And once we get to 1,000 likes, we'll get into the subject matter at hand. All right. So welcome, you guys. This is the HerbMan show. Again, we're live from South Africa, live on YouTube, live on TikTok. Please go somewhere, get situated. Who am I? Nobody. Who are you? Everybody. Okay, you're the reason for everything. Okay, you are the reason for all things moving, shaking, everything that's deriving in your life is all because of you. You are the earth. You are the center. You are the sun of your universe. You are the solar system of your world. But there is also a solar system of the earth that can affect the solar system in your world. Who am I? The one to show you how to balance the sun without with the sun within. The one that shows you how to balance the darkness without between the darkness within. The one that shows you how to use this duality into a polarity being the recipe. You got two dynamics of everything. How do I work them as one, HerbMan? Thank you for that question, okay? So with your funky, measly owner's manual for your funky, measly $50, we show you, okay? We show you how to do this balance within each and every one of us. Everybody has an owner's manual, okay? But you don't know if I've highlighted this enough, okay? But you must know how important your body is, okay? You can't live long just in spirit. You got to be able to do it in the body too if we gonna see it. And so many of us have been coming up with, and I want you guys to get this. There's so many scientists, there's so many people who have came across your path who have told you that consciousness lives forever. Okay? There are we at 1,000? Yeah. So many of us who have told you that consciousness lives forever. How many of you guys have heard this? Has anybody ever heard that your consciousness lives forever? That your spirit and your soul never dies? Anybody ever heard that? What's going on? What's going on? Come on in, Michael. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening there? How many people have ever heard that your consciousness lives forever? Your spirit and your soul lives forever? Put some ones in the chat. Okay, so B Strap says shit. I done heard it before. B Strap said, hell yeah, they done said that before. Okay, well, see, here's the thing. If this lives forever, why can't you? If this supposed to be you and your body is just a vehicle for who you really are, come on, somebody, get with me. If this is the real you, so when y'all tell me that consciousness lives forever, you also teach me that I am my consciousness and I'm not my body. That's how y'all really come across, is that I'm going to live forever because consciousness never dies. Or then you might say, you might use this in another word and say energy never dies, okay? But what you're trying to tell me is that my spirit, my soul, my consciousness lives forever. But what I'm saying is that this consciousness is only, please allow me to break this down to the people. This consciousness is a present moment scenario. Consciousness is not it's a present moment scenario. So what you're saying is that the present moments, the moments that I have when I'm living in the present moment, those live forever. But under what programming? The physical body programming. All the consciousness that you're talking about with heaven and all this, you got programmed heaven. You didn't come into this thing knowing nothing about no HEAVAN. You got programmed heaven. You got programmed God. Come on, somebody. Kylie, y'all waking up this morning on Sunday. We finna go to church today, okay? See, this is what I'm trying to get you to see. And here's the thing. Here is the thing. Here is the big thing. And I'm glad that this is being recorded on YouTube and TikTok. So if you forget it, it'll be still there sitting on you, waiting on you, okay? So here is the thing, though. Here is the really big thing about this discussion, okay? Because you don't understand what I just told you. You were programmed God, okay? Now, but here is the big thing. I can't say that you wouldn't have known what what a supreme being would be without the program, because you could have seen nature and looked at nature to kind of figure that you ain't got control over some of these aspects in environmental stimuli. So there could have been something grander, bigger than you without the book. But what I'm saying is everybody got the program though. Everybody got the program. If you came from a Jewish family, you got the program. If you're from a Muslim family, you got the program. If you came from a Christian family, you got the program. If you came from an atheist family, you got the program. If you came from a racist family, you got the program. If you came from a rich family, you got the program. If you came from a broke family, you got the program. If you came from an abusive family, you got the program. If you came from a family that love hog maw and chitlins and obesity, you see most people, you get the program. And so you got the kids big, just along with mom and dad. So at the end of the day, my point to you is that you got the program. You didn't learn it just off of the freeness of learning. Without nobody teaching you their ways, can you learn your way? Without nobody teaching you their way, what is your way? And so what happens is you end up carving of individuals that have never, ever been able to relinquish the program to feel this matrix, feel this design, feel this environment with their natural being. You don't know who you are. All you know is who you came from and what they taught you to be. And my thing is that that's a fallibility of the body's projection for this consciousness. So now your spirit is living forever, but under the physical consciousness. How is your spirit living forever? Under the physical consciousness. So under your physical consciousness, your programming of God, you also got God, programmed that God lives in a head. Come on now. Under your program to God, you got programmed that there's a supreme being. Then you got supreme being lives in heaven. Then you got programmed that this is where you should be. You got programmed that there's a God. Then you got programmed that that God lives in heaven. And then you got programmed that that is the place you should aspire to be. Then nowadays, 2025, they're saying now, but if your body dies, your consciousness lives forever. Your spirit lives forever. But up under what consciousness? So you're telling me that once I die a human, I'll always keep the human aspects in my spirit? Come on, man. Somebody, y'all stop playing. What human aspects do my baby got in my wife's stomach right now? Other than just breathing. But if I ask her when she come out, I hope it's a she, but if I ask her when she come out, I would be like, baby, what did you remember in your mother's womb? Nothing. Because there was no program under the English or under the programming that thing, because there's no calling, because there's no programming of her to give her this thing of these things. So therefore, what is that thing that my baby is in right now is the same thing you're going to die and go back to, where there's no words, no human construct for it. And that's why I ain't never been nobody been able to come back to explain it, because it is in birth and in death you lose the human programming. So you wouldn't call this heaven. So then what is that? And then you wouldn't call that God. So then what is that without me telling you this is? What is it with your experience, not with the program? What is heaven to you with your experience, not with the program? And what does this mean to you as an individual, to you, not with the program, but what you think it is? And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys. Stop labeling the new man from the old men. Stop labeling the new woman from the old women. Stop labeling the new experience with the old experiences. Come into everything every day with a vulnerability, a childlike vulnerability, to allow for this unique ability of, I'm okay with whatever happens. But have you ever lived a day where you're okay with whatever happens? Or do you always got to dictate everything that happens in your day? Have you ever just went with the flow? Or is the flow everything that you plan? A plan and a flow. A flow is sometimes just going with what the day do, baby. Let's go with what the day do. So again, you coming in and you're going out without the human construct. So then without the programming. So then what we're trying to tell you is, in order to get into this everlasting body concept, okay? Let me go ahead and put this up for you guys real quick. You keep tapping, I'll keep talking. You keep tapping, I'll keep talking, okay? And the Lord God formed of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Now, I know that when y'all read Bible, you think that these are real people doing real things. But what we're going to talk to you about today, without changing your mind, if that's what you think it is, then that's what you think it is. I'm offering a new perspective that this is talking about the mind. Okay? This is talking about the mind. So, and the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground. So therefore, man would be conducive to what side of the brain? Man would be conducive to what side of the brain? Anybody know? Man would be conducive to what side of the brain? Okay. So now we're talking about a masculine energy and an electric energy, but we're also talking about when you're talking about the masculine energy, you're talking about the creative force. Okay, the creative force. Or you can be talking about the force of resistance. And since it's earth, I'm going to say the force of resistance. Because now man has become matter. Okay, and so every now and then your stumbling block becomes a real thing. It becomes matter. It becomes a real stumbling block. It becomes a real boundary, a real wall in your life. Okay, every now and then. Okay, you got to understand where we're going with this. Every now and then, right? That's force of resistance. It becomes something that matters. It's a real dynamic that's separating you. Obstruction from the goal. Okay, obstruction from the goal. Now, here's the thing. The obstruction is needed. Okay, the obstruction is necessary because you're always needing to be challenged, because you're always needing to evolve as the human species. Okay, you're always needing to be challenged, just like they do rats you always needing something to see, can you evolve around this particular issue? So you got lions, tigers, and bears, oh my, in your life, in the form of money and relationships and this, that, and the third. And they come in as obstruction to your wants, needs, and desires. Okay, so your wants, needs, and desires are in here. Okay, and then you have this force of resistance against those things. Okay, but now HerbMan is telling us that these are necessary. Sickness is necessary in order for you to claim to be healed. Can't nobody claim no healing if they wasn't sick. Now you get what I'm saying? You can't go through the win without the loss. So you must understand that they work together in order for your test to be a testimony. You got to have a test to have a testimony. Some of y'all don't want the test, so your ass won't get the testimony. If you don't want the test, you ain't gonna have the testimony. If you don't want the sickness, you won't get the healing unless you know what to do with the sickness and understand that this sickness is an opportunity. This stage 4 dialysis finna have me somewhere dancing in church, telling these folk about how good God is about these kidneys. This little high blood pressure finna have folk dancing in church. I'm finna get rid of this in 30 days. I'm gonna be back in there in 30 days at the church with the paperwork like him. 30 days before they said I had high blood pressure, and then 30 days later, look how good God is. But you got to put in work. It ain't just no praying thing. It ain't just no praying it away. It's how you got discipline to get around this particular force of resistance. It's what I did in order to be able to get over these things. And so again, that's this force of resistance. Now, in layman's term, this is the devil, the evil. This is the lower self. Okay, and that's why we call it man. Okay, this is the lower self. This is what you would call the devil, evil. This is the force of resistance. So then God made that in the ground, right? So this is what we would call the earth element. How many of you know what's the opposite of the earth element? You've been in my class long enough. You should know what's the opposite of the earth element. And so anybody know what's the opposite of the earth element is? Okay, so you got fire, you got air, you got earth, and you got water. Who would think that they know what's the opposite of the earth element? So see, some of my people who've been here, I call them my students. Okay, BK 5507 is absolutely right. So the opposite of the earth. So again, this is masculine. This is man, right? This is masculine. What's the opposite of the man? So the air is opposite. The air is the force of creation, which is the woman, in the regards of the feminine energy. See, y'all don't really want to know how to study. See, because you think those are people and you keep overlooking the principle. Okay, the air, the force of creation, the feminine energy. Okay, so this is what's going to allow me to override obstruction. When you ride the air, then you can get over traffic. When you ride the air, you get there a little quicker than the traffic on the earth. When you ride the air, you can get there a little quicker than running. When you ride in the air, you get there a little quicker than driving. When you ride in the air, you get there a little quicker than you doing it. When you get into the air, you'll get there a little quicker. It allows you to be able to have the way to escape. For the Bible says that it's no thing uncommon to man. For I have a way for you to escape. I have a way for you to escape. Okay, so now this is going to be the opposite of the evil, the lower self, and the devil. And this is the heaven. Because it's a consciousness. Okay, this is the heaven. It's a consciousness. Okay, this is the angelicness that you're talking about. Heaven, higher self, angels. Okay, and then this is last but not least the woman. Okay, so as you can see that this is talking about a process not a real historical event, but a process of principle. So a process of principle come back on down. A process of principle says, and the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground. So the body is a necessary asset to your experience here. So stop starving yourself to death. Stop fasting yourself to death, and stop eating too much. Stop drinking too much, but then don't stop. Don't. Matter of fact, watch out for not drinking enough. Don't smoke too much, but watch out for this, that, and the third. Your lung health. So what I'm saying is a proper balance of things. So in the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, earth, and then it breathed air into his nostrils, the breath of life. And then man became a soul. It wasn't until woman met man, until left brain met right brain. It wasn't until a mind met matter that life became a living organism. That's what I'm trying to teach you. That's what I'm trying to teach you. Matter and mind. Body and soul. Body and spirit. Body and mind. What I just read to you was Genesis 2:7, which is telling you about the genealogy of how we came into existence through the body. But what I've been teaching you is how you can be able to create a new existence within coming through rebirth through the mind. Because I can't put you back into the womb to regenetically reposition you. So only way that we know how to do this now for people who came out into birth, the only way we can change you now is through your mind. And now you can keep on buying medications, you can keep on buying this and that and hesitations, and you can keep on buying all these types of things. But the only thing that will actually be able to regenerate anything in you is to understand how to work the mind. Again, you can't get a new body. So therefore, we learn how to maintain and sustain the body in which we're in. And what I try to teach you here is that it's not just about biology, is also about cosmology, and you can learn about the body through learning about the stars. And when you learn that type of stuff, you'll understand what's important to you in this, that, and the third. So right there, I just showed you in Genesis 2:7. You can't go no more beyond that, because that's when he made man. Made man out of what? Body, come from the earth, and air. Breathe air into the nostrils, right? Equal to spirit. And then it said that he became a soul. Okay? You wasn't a living organism until you learned the law of polarity. That's what they're trying to tell you. That's an alchemical understanding that you just read and didn't even know it. Okay? How to form life. It's a principle. It was an alchemical principle that you just overlooked because you started looking at if these folks real. It's an alchemical principle that if I take something of the earth and then I take something of the opposite, something of the opposite, I create something new. That's all this is saying. That if I take something of one thing and then the opposite of the other, and I create something new. If a man did not have intercourse with a woman, 9 times out of 10, and this is not all the way 100% factual, but 9 times out of 10, this can be true. That if a woman did have a baby without a man, it would be more of an asexual birth, which would be more of a twin, because it would be genetically damn near alike the mother, because there is no difference coming into the chromosomes of the baby. There's no difference. So you can damn near replicate yourself. You're cloning yourself with asexual reproduction. If a man could have something without a woman, it would probably be his twin, because it would be more his chromosomes. There won't be no mixture. But when you mix up a opposite thing and you make these two things have to interact, they create something new. The child is something new from the mother and the father. And what I'm trying to tell you is that when your left brain and your right brain work in a whole brain coherency, there is something new that you can create in your life. There's something new that you can do and create. But most of us are dealing with one side of the other in different particular paradigms. And therefore, when you get into your time of need, you forgot about the recipe. How did we get here? Because of this recipe, I'm here. I don't know how y'all got here, because the only person that came from Immaculate Conception is supposed to be the one you're going to read about this morning. So therefore, you and I got here through this recipe. So then where your healing is in this recipe. Where your riches is in this recipe. Where your family life is in this recipe. It's the alchemical understanding of how to bring forth life. So the force of resistance mixed with the force of creation brings forth action in life. So that's where you understand that you need sickness, therefore, but you also need the healing. So the sickness is the force of resistance, and the healing is the force of creation. Who's gonna win? It's gonna create something new, a new diagnosis, a new prognosis on your life, a new trajectory. That verse is telling you about alchemistry. Okay? And I've taught you that with alchemistry, you must understand that all things are basically about decoding the numbers. So you got to decode numbers. You got to understand what these things are really meaning. So now understanding that, then you see this little thing up here and you like, what this is for? This is to try to get you to work in this wholeness. So as a holistic practitioner, all my life, I've been trying to learn about what all of this fragmentation that's going on in the human experience. How can you bring one to one wholeness? How can this be possible? Oneness within all of these goddamn people. It is goddamn, look at it is 8 billion people on the planet. Okay, you got 8 billion people. Okay, and then for most of us, we don't even like our mamas and daddies. So how we gonna like a lot of other folk, right? So how we going to get oneness? Where is oneness gonna come from? When I was in the prison, a lot of times these guys used to always ridicule me about, nah, man, that shit ain't gonna never happen, cool. Boy, it's been so many niggas come through here and talking about that one shit, that shit ain't gonna never happen in your life. First of all, nigga, black folk ain't gonna never be goddamn, never be one. Got that, the world ain't gonna never be one. These motherfuckers, white folk ain't gonna never goddamn. So it was just always some crap about this oneness spirit that I had. Okay, but it ain't no different than people before me, like Akhenaten and like the person you call Christ Jesus. Well, we're coming into this particular paradigm trying to show a broken, fragmented individual more or less than a broken, fragmented collective people how to be one. How to be one. Any questions thus far? You guys keep tapping, I'll keep talking. You keep tapping and I'll keep talking. Thanks for helping me to be ready. Going to watch the replay. Yes. You keep tapping, I'll keep talking. If you guys got questions, please let us know. Go tell somebody to go tell somebody. Okay, so now how do you create this oneness if individuals are divided within, and then also as a collective we're divided? How can one get to the oneness? Well, in the research, I realized what were the fragmentations. Okay, see, it's one thing to know that we're all fragmented, but it's another thing to understand what are the fragmented. So what I realize is that no matter if a person is poor or rich, okay, if a person is poor or rich, okay, even if a person is poor or rich, they're still human. So you got a poor human and a rich human. So a poor human got problems and desires. And then I found out that the rich human, because they're still human, has problems and still desires. So I said, damn, so the rich, it don't take away the desires? No, because they desire more. Huh? Oh, because I'm poor, I should not have no problems because I'm poor. They ain't know what I mean. Well, I got problems for when I'm poor. But a poor person got more problems than a rich person got money. So then I started to understand that it ain't about rich or poor that can alleviate these things. These things are not can't be quenched by money. These problems can't be quenched by money. So therefore, now you got to look deeper, and then you start to look at things. And you say, okay, well, the sickest person, the richest person gets sick and still leave here. The poorest person gets sick and to leave here too. So then, what was the cause for them to leave here? If the poor person gets sick and die, and if the rich person gets sick and die from the same disease, then what do you take from that? That money couldn't solve it. So it didn't matter that the poor man was rich, because it didn't matter that the rich man was rich. So it didn't matter that the poor man was poor, I'm sorry, and it didn't matter that the rich man was rich, because that problem couldn't be solved by money. It can't be solved by money. So we have other ways that we can start to satisfy the things of the natural selection. Natural selection, its tender is not money. Natural selection, that's capitalism. Capitalism, its legal tender is money. But naturalism, its legal tender is not money. It's a lot of other stuff, okay? Now, some of this stuff looks like this right here. Let me show y'all this real quick, and then we'll keep it going on. All right, you guys keep tapping. I'll keep talking. You guys keep tapping. I will keep on bobbing and weaving through the hole like Mike. Keep on bobbing and weaving through the hole like Mike. Okay, I wanted to show y'all this though, real quick. So you have this discernment that the body can go through: the gut, the heart, the third eye. Okay, interprets insight, weighs empathy. All right. I wanted y'all to understand this real quick, that this body, bro, this body is something serious in order to get you to able to navigate and circumvent certain issues that can start to help you extend your life. Remember that that's what we're talking about: extending the life of the individual. That's more important than anything, extending the life of the individual. Okay, that's more important than anything, extending the life of the individual. That's what we're looking to try to do. Okay, so then I taught y'all yesterday that the heart sets the resonance of the cell. Okay, so now we understand the importance of the body in that aspect. Okay, then we also taught you guys how important these activities are to making sure that you're in natural selection. Okay, when you're in natural selection, this is where heaven is. Natural selection is the heaven. Look at this stuff. That's heaven right there. If you could do this every day, these are heaven. Okay, so pray every day. Well, I like to call it not praying, but prayer, praise. Okay, I'm gonna erase that and say praise. That's the one I'm gonna change. Praise every day. That's just gratitude. That ain't nothing but gratitude every day. So let's just go ahead and put that there. Gratitude. Okay, all of these you're gonna show gratitude in. Meditating. That ain't nothing but gratitude. Singing. Now, what if all you did was walk around this motherfucker and do all this shit every day? That's because then you'll be in your supernatural state. Then you'll be in your trance state. Then you'll be in heaven. Okay? And that's what this life wants us to do. It wants to see if the human being can leave behind the construct they built for itself and go back toward ecstasy, living in bliss with the land, living in harmonious connection with the land. Okay, exercise, laughing, spending time with loved ones. Okay, what if that's all you did all day? Is these things? Wouldn't this be heaven? Now, I don't know about the crying unless you're crying tears of joy. Okay, but wouldn't that be heaven? Okay, so that's what we're trying to get you to, but we got to get you to be able to do this in the body, not over here in death, waiting on the die to go to heaven. We got to get you to get in your heavenly conscious while you yet live. So I need for you to feel these things every day. Well, you can't do this under capitalism, but you can do this under naturalism. You can't be like this under capitalism because capitalism is the environment that produces death, but naturalism is the environment that produces everlasting life. So death is that death consciousness is what's going to drive you to your grave, but that heavenly consciousness allow you to find the way to escape. There is no sin uncommon to man where we don't get a way to escape. You will always get a blueprint to escape. Y'all are going to that church today, but do you know that scripture? Y'all about to go down now. Tell them to pull that one up. So you'll understand that your healing is cool, but there's a way to escape. Your poverty is okay because there's a way to escape. Your social anxiety is okay because there is a way to escape it. Okay, and that's what we're trying to teach you with your owner's manual. You guys are interested in the owner's manual, please DM us and we'll get you the information that you need. But this is the information that we're trying to teach you guys every time that I come up on the live, is how to thrive within the body, how to be able to take these particular programs off the body that will lower your energy and will tire you out. And if this is a 120-year route, you won't be able to make it if you're trying to ride just the body alone. The body alone, the physical body alone, will not live to 120 without a strong spirit. Okay, the physical body alone cannot live through 120 years without a strong spirit. So right now, the only person that has been recorded in the Guinness Book of World Records, even though we know there's more people out here that have been living longer than her. I'm going to just say that. There's more people that's been living longer than her. But right now, the age is 122. Okay? And that's Miss Clement. Okay? The age is 122, and that's Miss Clement over there in Europe somewhere. Okay? So right now, the top age in the Guinness Book of World Records is 122 years. We're trying to get you to 120 because we know that can happen. Now, did this woman have a special diet? No. She smoked early in her career. She smoked early in her life. And then when she turned about 80, 90, 100, she started smoking again. And still lived to 122. She drank wine every now and then. She ate boatloads of olive oil and all this shit all this stuff. You know, she probably had some bacon in the eggs and everything else. Still live to 122 years old. So if this happened years ago, why isn't this more common nowadays? Because you are not taking on to the importance of the body. And so in the beginning of our ancestral tour, they did not take account for the body because they read the sacred information the wrong way. Kind of like what we're doing today. We're reading it with the wrong way. So the body was almost like the second fiddle. It was almost like you don't need the body. It was almost like the body was what was holding you back. The body is what's holding you down. The body is what's the wrong thing about you, the sad thing about you, the bad thing about you. And so therefore, they starved the hell out of this body. They pierced this body. They pricked this body. They sacrificed. They did all kinds of stuff to this body because of the teaching. And they felt that they needed to discard the body that way in order to show some type of spiritual prowess. But that was wrong, because what happens is, yes, they begin to do this and get a spiritual enlightenment, but hell, you can't come back to tell nobody because you done wrecked the body that you was in. So even though your spirit got up there, it can't come back down and tell nobody what the fuck went on. So you had a lot of knowledge before you left, but you didn't have nothing about coming back. So that's why you don't hear stories about the coming back of nobody from death, because of the way they do their body to go there. And what I'm trying to tell you is that you don't have to hurt yourself to go to the spirit. You don't have to drink to go to the spirit. You don't have to smoke to go to the spirit. You don't have to fast to go to the spirit. You don't have to starve to go to the spirit. You just got to be able to be in bliss. Happy will get you in the spirit. Said I'm happy, come along. That's the biggest song on goddamn radio when I can. You belong to me. I'm so happy, come along if you feel. That nigga can't even sing the truth, But I'm so happy, happy, happy. One of the biggest songs on the planet. Why? Because it is it's more spiritual than saying the name of Jesus. You got to understand that. Music, you got to understand that one. Because you see that song, when I said it was more powerful than the name of Jesus, because the average person that wouldn't listen to gospel would listen to happy and still getting. You had Christians listen to happy. You had Muslims listening to happy. But I can't get a Christian to listen to nothing from Muslim and can't get a Muslim to listen to nothing from Christianity. So sometimes you got to understand that if you take if you come in a different way, you can get way more people than what you think. And happy got everybody, no matter what the hell your skin color was or what you believed in. I'm so happy. Okay, so now you understand that that is a trance. That's something that I can connect to. That doesn't have to be egregious to me. So my point to you is that happiness can get you to cross over without all of the other temporary means of getting to a higher consciousness. But you got to be willing to be happy. And the question is how can you be with what you got going on? Okay, how can you be with what you got going on? Anybody got anything? You can put it in the chat. You guys, I know y'all coming to get talk, but please be interactive. Okay, stop just watching me. I ain't nobody for you. Go look at your boyfriend or your husband if that's what you're trying to do. Okay, we looking for students. Okay, we're looking for students. We need students to fill the seats. Okay, we need students to fill the seats. I'm a teacher, not an entertainer. All right. We need that because, again, we have to change the order in which you're going. So right now you're dealing with government shutdown. Some of y'all don't got the money to do this and to do that. So that means that your money getting low. When your money get low, okay, low income, don't look at this as poverty. Look at sometimes your ass has some low income. My money low today. If my money low today, I got low income. If my money high tomorrow, I got high income. Don't look at it. You go in and out of this state. Now, and it's been because when you're reading information, that's what's happening. When you're reading information, your perspective is that they're talking about some other folk. But when you get broke, you do the same thing as folks that's broke every day. Folks that's broke every day, every now and then when you get broke, you do the same thing as people do when they're broke every day. And that's what? You eat unhealthy foods. Okay? You eat unhealthy foods and you have unhealthy coping mechanisms. And yours might not be every day like Rico and them, but whenever you do get here, you do this. You are not exempt from when you do this because of this. And when you get high income, there's some things that you do. Okay? And you basically do the same shit, but on a different level. So when you low income, you go to cheaper foods that don't mean you no good. You do cheaper things to draw high that don't mean you no good. When you get your high income, you do the same thing, but you spend more money on unhealthy food. But then when you get a little bit more, you can put a little bit more broccoli. You may be okay with that little Brussels sprout they're gonna put on your plate with the steak. You may be a little cool with the broccoli they're gonna put on there. But you know McDonald's ain't gonna give you no broccoli down here in the low income. So at the end of the day, you may eat a little better, okay? But here ain't nothing but just a deeper obsession with the coping mechanisms, okay? But they may be at a higher quality, but still the same thing. So again, when you get into these levels, that means that you are harming your body way more. And it's because of the harming of the mind, okay? So when you're looking at the Genesis and you're seeing Adam, you're seeing the left brain and the right brain, and you're seeing that mind got convoluted with thought. Okay, so mind is Eve. Your thoughts are snakes to you. Okay, Adam is the body, the mind equals Eve, and the thought equals snake. I probably should have just okay. So that's what happened. This is what happened in the Garden of Eden. Okay, thought came into the mind. So I know that they told you that the body right there was this, that, and the third, but thought came into the mind. So the snake came into Eve, convoluted the mind, and the body ends up in Chick-fil-A line. When that got lemon pepper get into your mind, you end up at JJ's Lemon Pepper Shack. When the ribs get into your mind, you end up at Shane's Rib. And when sex end up in your mind, you end up in the bed. Come on now. It ain't no different. So it is when the thoughts get into your mind that your body follows. So thought and mind today you to everybody that you are now. Okay. Come on, somebody. When y'all go up there this morning, listen to what they saying. Heaven ain't about you being there floating in the spirit. Heaven is about there in consciousness and in truth, in physical. That's why when he came back to Doubting Tom had to put his finger in there. But at the end of the day, they had to know is you real? Okay, so at the end of the day, my point to you is that the realism of transfiguration is you being still here. And that's why when you're looking at the concept, it's not about coming out of the sky. It's about coming out of the mind. It's not about due to thought. You lost your mind, man. You lost your woman to be your own God. The thought of you wanting to run shit. The thought of you wanting to be the big dun. You lost your fucking mind. And you separated. It had a divorce. It had whole brain cohesiveness. That's what we teach you about. Go find your wife. Go back and marry. Yes. So find your Eve, okay? So this is what happened in the garden is that we've divorced one another from mind and body. So now you're getting a lot of shit over here, but you still are forsaking your, or you over here concentrating here and you ain't concentrating over here, or you over here concentrating over here, but you ain't concentrating over here. So you see the countless of ministers that are overweight, the countless of ministers in the body of Christ that you finna go see today that are overweight, focusing up here, but don't give a damn about Adam. But you talking about Adam, you preaching about Adam, but you're physically showing people that don't worry about your body, just keep worrying and focusing on God. And God damn it, be ashamed of yourself. It's time for holistic shit. Teach these people the truth. Your fat ass ain't got no discipline in the physical. You might be disciplined in the spiritual, but that's no different than being spiritually high, but no earthly good. Being high-minded, but you can't give me nothing for the issues that I'm dealing with in my everyday life. Okay? Don't get me mad now. Don't get me mad now, okay? So now this divorce, you got to go back and find her. So how the hell are you going to be healed without your mind? Or vice versa, body. How you going to be healed without your mind? Or mind, how you going to be healed without your body? Come on, y'all. So what we're doing is we're coming into your wholeness. So when it says that man leave his mom and father and cleaves to his wife, is because you should leave home, leave the womb of the body. When you leave home, you leave the womb of the body. When you leave home, you leave the universe, the unison of the heartbeat. So you got to go find your unison again. You cut the umbilical cord of the unison of the heartbeat. So therefore, after that, you're always on a journey trying to find that universe that you can find without it being mama. So you try to find mama in a wife. You try to find mama in the children. You try to find mama in the career. You try to find mama in the sport. You try to find mama in the community. You try to find something that I can vibe with and be on the what? That unison beat, that melody, that harmony. Okay, and so when you're understanding what we're teaching you here with your owner's manual for this little funky measly $50 here, is that we're trying to show you how to get back into this particular rhythm so you'll understand what these are actually doing in your body and in your mind. Okay, it's getting you back. It's getting you back to where you need to be. Okay, so you got to understand what these is. Singing is going to do what? Harmony. Okay, a lot of air signs, because this is air. A lot of air signs need to relax and feel this. Okay, if you look at a lot of air signs and a lot of air element people, now you wouldn't know, because it ain't just about air signs, it's also about other people who are air elements. Okay, they need harmony. That means more relaxation. Okay, what does dancing do? Dancing is going to give you a little bit more rhythm. Okay, harmony in life, rhythm in life. Okay, harmony in life, rhythm in life. This right here, this is comedy, right? This is comedy, harmony, rhythm, comedy. These are things we're talking about that are really trying to get back into tune, right? Get back into tune with nature. That's all this is about. Can you get back into rhythm? Okay. Can you get back into melody? Right? That vibe, that touch. Can you get back into rhythm with nature, with the heartbeat that you're seeking? You left mama's womb and you got that severed disconnection of that unison heartbeat, that universe. And you've been trying to find it ever since, and you don't even know it. You've been trying to find that unison heartbeat ever since, and you don't even know it. And the depression that comes from not being in rhythm, being in sync, has ravaged the human over the course of a few centuries now. Just haven't been able to be in rhythm, in harmony, in melody. It is called the Great Depression. And it ain't happened because of your money gone. It's okay. The beat is being lost. And so you need to find your mind. We show you how to find your mind with on this man. Oh, blood type. We don't need a blood sample. We don't need a hair sample, stool sample, urine sample. We're not gonna prick you, prod you, or poke you. Is non-invasive, non-intrusive. Okay. All we need is a birthday, and we'll get you back again. Okay. A lot of you guys are doing some stuff too with your owner's manual. You guys are taking the herbs, but you guys are still, it's some other stuff y'all are not doing. I got somebody the other day said, well, I took it for 2 months, but I'm still dealing with seasonal allergies. And I said to myself, look up. Okay. When you guys are doing this stuff, make sure you product. But there is a panacea programming. And that programming is to get you to deal with these obstructions of the body and the mind working in a cohesiveness. So what can obstruct the body from working together with the mind? Okay, let's talk about it. If you guys want to come up on the chat, you guys, this is the time to do it. Please keep tapping. I'll keep talking. If you want to come up on the chat, this is the time to do it. Please keep tapping. I'll keep talking. Okay. If you want to come up on the chat, keep tapping. I'll keep talking. This is the time to do it. Put me in the chat and we'll bring you up. If you're dealing with any kind of physical health issues, emotional health issues, anything like that, you can come up. K2270 owner's manual. DM me and we'll get you taken care of. Okay. All right. So what can cause this dissension right here? What can cause dissension? Anybody know? Let me pull this up really quick here. Bow. All right. Anybody know what can cause this particular section? Anybody know what can cause this particular separation of mind and body? Kanda, you come on up when you're ready. All right. Anybody know? So a lot of stuff that can keep the body from the mind. Okay. There's a lot of stuff that can keep the body from the mind and the mind from the body. But the biggest thing is this right here. Okay? Depression is past tense. So when you're past tense, you're not in the present body. When you're anxiety and worry, that's future tense. When you're worrying about tomorrow, you're not in the present body. Okay? So these tend to be the culprits that are keeping us out from the marriage of the present moment. The present moment is the marriage. The present moment is the present. Okay? It is actually the present of life. Okay? So when you're understanding that, then you understanding that the Bible distorted the truth. No, I don't know about it distorted the truth. It's just that you don't know how to decode it. The Bible is truth, but it's with a decoding. You got to decode it. Okay? Everything starts with thought. Yes, 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 yes. So now you're understanding that depression and anxiety with no control becomes a depression. It becomes a human. A God with no control becomes a human. A God with no control becomes human. So although I told you a story biting the apple and becoming a God, you are a God of no control. So you're just a mere human. You can't control life. You can't control death in the way of your own. So let's say you want to live long, another human can come and kill you. Why? Because you're not God. You can't stop a bullet from shooting you. So you become a God with no control, even though you reading a story talking about you do have it. You don't have it. And what happens is you've been told that you got it. The system to where it's showing you that you don't. That becomes depressive, and that becomes a very, very unique ingredient to anxious, what called anxious symptoms. See, so when you don't have control, this is what happens. Okay, when you were young and you were a baby, you didn't have any control over what somebody did to you. When you was a child, when you were, just coming up as adolescent or teenager, you didn't have control over what happened. Control causes anxiety or depression. This keeps us separated from the present moment in the body. When you get diagnosed with cancer or any kind of life-threatening disease, you're going to get into these states of consciousness. You're either worried about life or you're either depressed about what you did to yourself. So therefore, these things continue to rapture us and Adam. Each and every one of us has not been able to reunite these within each and every one of us. So now here's the thing. Their power lies on their connection. Okay? Their power lies in their connection of working together. So when you want to go to God, when you want to go to heaven, when you want to go to the outer realms, when you want to go to the astral plane, you got to have these both working. No different than the positive and negative on the battery in your car. When you want to go somewhere, that battery got to work. And when you're wanting to produce something in your life, this recipe has to come together in order to move the needle in a miraculous way. And so what we're teaching you with your owner's manual, which is why that's so important, is just that balancing act and that recipe in all things concerning you. How to use it in all things concerning you. And so you find magic here because that's a new thing. It said before I come, I will spring forth a new thing. Right? So that new thing is when you get these two to start working as one. So what we do is then we'll on this manual is bring the mind back into cohesiveness with the body. By doing what? By acknowledging all of the traumatic events or being able to express ourselves about these traumatic events and clean our plate so that we can have nothing in the body that will obstruct the connection. So sometimes molestation will block the connection. Sometimes rape will block the connection. And it should, because these are traumatic things that shouldn't happen to anybody. Sometimes violence, murder will block the connection. Sometimes how I was raised in poverty will block the connection. Sometimes just out of sheer ignorance will block the connection. And so I need somebody to come in and just talk to me a little bit about it. And that's why I told you a rich man got problems. So if you talk to him long enough, he'll tell you about something that he still wants. That want is the problem. For you to be rich and still desiring, that's the problem. You're never going to be settled. If you got $50 million and you want 50 million more, you got a problem. You got a problem. Okay? So at the end of the day, you guys, that's what we're trying to get you to see. How we fell from the grace. And then how we'll be able to rise back up to our supernatural calling and our supernatural being. Okay? How we fell from grace. But how we're going to be able to marry the bride and the bridegroom together. When you marry the bridegroom and the bridegroom together, is when you start getting into states of ecstasy, states of bliss. Typically, but I'm trying to get you to understand spiritually that it's the heavenly consciousness. Okay? Esoterically, it's the mind of Christ. It's this thing that they used to call it back then, that science now says it's gamma and theta. But I'm telling you that the Bible calls it the mind of Christ. I'm telling you that the Bible calls it the day of Pentecost. I'm telling you that the Bible calls it the Holy Spirit. I'm telling you that it's called the unctions, and it's these things that happen in you. It's these trances and these dreams that come into your body that allows you to go to the other side of consciousness. Okay, so when you're looking at gamma, what you're looking at is nothing other than what? Super consciousness. That's all. That ain't nothing but super consciousness. You must walk through the ladder. You must go up the ladder. So when you go up the ladder, you can't just get to gamma. You got to go through. You got to go through beta. Okay, right? You got to go through alpha. Okay, you got to go through a delta. You got to go through theta. Maybe even old epsilon. Before you get to old gamma. You see what I'm saying? So what it is that I got to walk you up through Jacob's ladder. So what my point to you is that you need to experience more things than just these little small things. And here's what I mean when I say that to you. Let me show you a little something here real quick. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing Jacob's by mistake erase that stuff that I shouldn't erase. Ah, man, I hope I didn't. Okay, but it looks like I did, you guys. It looks like I did erase a lot of stuff, you guys. I do apologize for that. Okay. I do apologize for that. I'm going to have to try to get some of that stuff back ASAP, because that was a very, very important information that I was going to show y'all that I now do not see anymore. Dang, I can't believe I did that one now. Yep. Yeah, that's my bad, you guys. I erased some stuff earlier because I got so much stuff on the phone. I ain't frozen. I was looking for receipts, but I got so much stuff on my phone that I've done erased some stuff just before I got on here that I shouldn't erase. So we got to get that back. And all I got to do is just go back to our trash to get that up real quick. But again, you guys, that's what we're teaching you. Your body is a very important component to this everlasting life. Don't try to get there just through the spirit. Get there with your every being, right? You want to be able to live as long as you possibly can, and you want to be able to extend your life. Everything that I'm teaching you guys is about extending your life. I want you to walk into 120. That means that when you walk upright into 120, that means you still got a little bit more room to go. And so what we're trying to teach you is the ultimate health. I'm not just trying to get you over your little disease today. We're trying to get you over your diseases for tomorrow, so that you don't so you go into every day understanding exactly what you need to overcome, circumvent, and extend the life that you're living in. But it's up to you. It is your decision. You don't necessarily have to choose this way of life, this way of living. But if you choose to do it, the best thing that I can give you, the best thing that we offer here is the owner's manual for a funky measly $50, okay? But you got to take this body into consideration. And what I'm trying to do is take a little bit off the body. Everything that you've been doing it toward the body. But now we got to be able to take a little bit off the body. The body is too feeble. It's too weak to go through it in order for it to resuscitate. So there's another part of you that we know we can go through to be able to give you the energy to resurrect that body and raise Lazarus. And instead of going over there trying to push on Lazarus and beat Lazarus up and slap Lazarus up, what we're going to do is go through the mind. And then we're going to create these chemical reactions that are going to be healing to your body. When I go through your mind, I'm going to create these blissful states so that you can start to see how this thing works. I'm gonna try to pull this up one more time. Somebody said I got it, so let's see. Let's see what I have, because I didn't see it. Let's see. I don't know where you sitting at, because I ain't see it. No, sir. Now I'm gonna have to get it out of the. I can't believe I. There we go. Bam. Okay. This is what you need right here. All right. Peace, love, bliss, still. Those are transactionary things. Joy, peace, love, bliss, stillness, visions. Okay? Melatonin, visions. What are we trying to get you to do? Cross over in the dream state instead of in the death state. Why? Because when you get these visions, you can come back with the answers to your problems. Okay? So that's the importance of all this type of stuff. But I wanted you to just see that these things are transaction powers. Spirit says there's a way out. Science says because you don't like people and you 9 times out of 10 you're going to end up lonely. Spirit says you can change your paradigm and have the life you want. So you got to understand that there is a good thing. So this this is also fact. Okay? But this is also faith. Okay? This is belief. That's knowing. Right? So it's okay to have some facts, but you're also going to need some faith. But the spirit, remember the heart yesterday. The heart can expand out further. The aura can expand out further than the electrical. The electrical is the masculine energy, right? So you can put that over here too. Electrical. Okay? And you can put this over here too. Magnetic. Okay, so this power and it's preceding you, so it can go before you and after you, and it can touch people that you normally wouldn't touch with your mind, that you can touch with your spirit, or you can touch with your heart, or whatever you want to call it. And so at the end of the day, my point to you is that this stuff over here can go out and reach and get something that maybe this can't do. So where science stops its reach, you got something else that can extend your reach with through your spirit. I don't know if y'all understand what I'm teaching you, but I'm teaching you the best thing you've ever heard. Okay, without it being herbs. All right. So you understand this. So now what's what's transitionary or track? I'm gonna say transactionary, right? Other than money, is these things. These things other than money can bring something to you. These are also what you would call uh, because this ain't no legal tender, something you can touch, but there's something you can feel. Okay. And so these are transactionary. So you can literally go get something with this. You can go buy something. You can go purchase something. You can go and accumulate something. You can add something to your life with joy. You can go, if you're a joyful person, joy will bring something to you. If you're a peaceful person, peace will bring something to you. If you're a loving person, love will bring something to you. If you're a blissful person, blissful person, peace will bring something to you. If you're a loving person, love will bring something to you. If you're a blissful person, bliss will bring something to you. So now in your sickness, I need for you to do all this. I need for you to sit your ass still. I need for you to dream. And I need for you to be in a joy, peaceful, loving, blissful state. And therefore, we can heal you. And you don't need herbs, because herbs are not more potent than what these produce. They're not more potent than what these produce. Medications are not more potent than what these produce in you, and they produce medicines. And therefore, we go back here and show you this again so that y'all can see. Yes, sir. Okay. Serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins, GABA. Okay. These things are producing these things, you guys. Okay. They are producing these things. Now, when you're stressed out, you're dealing with cortisol, adrenaline, noradrenaline, and cytokines, and that's what's going to produce fleshly mind, which means that the body is in control. The body is the mind of your life instead of the spirit being the mind of your life. And so when the body is the mind of your life, then this is when you have this God consciousness, but you have no control over the manly. And so to that, how can I be a God, but I can die? How can I be a God, but I'm broke? How can I be a God with this and that? How can I be a God, but I damn near died the other day and I saw death and seen violence? And how can I be? And so what happens is your God consciousness is eroding away. And this is the thing, you're getting stressed out because you are God with no control. So you just figured out that you're only mere human. And that scares the hell out of you. You wished you were God so that you can be able to have the abundance that you think a God would have based on your programming of what a God is. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to get you to get off an abundance is the body's mind and get onto the spirit mind, because that's going to give you peace. When you over here, yes, that's going to stress you the hell out, because you the one who know the difference between good and evil, and you ain't nothing you can do about it out here because you can't get your own abundance. You know how many people come into the paradigm want to be rich but don't know about it? It's only a small few of us. That stresses you the hell out. Why? Because it's almost impossible for you to be in the number. You know how many people want to play NBA? You know how many people want to play the NFL? But it's only a small few of the population that get to actually put on those jerseys, and that's stressing you the hell out, because you can dedicate your whole life to ball, the this and that, and still have no control, claiming that you're a God. It's stressful. And humans living up under this particular amount of stress is not how you're going to get peace, love, joy, and bliss when you came into the paradigm program that you're supposed to be able to do this and do it on your own, and anybody could and everybody could be somebody, and you can follow your dreams and make your dreams come true. And then you're seeing that your mom wanted to be a lawyer, but she works at Piccadilly. You're seeing that your daddy wanted to play football, but he works for the post office. You see your grandmama was single, but she was only a housemaid. You seen that granddaddy wanted to be a carpenter, but he was only a handyman. And then you start seeing that down, people had dreams, but they ain't living them. That must gonna be me one day. And then now, mama, you can't get mad because you want me to be something, but I got to the least because here you wanted to be something, and you didn't get you wasn't what you wanted to be, so you can't get mad at me. Because of the programming, okay? Because of the programming. So we want you to start producing that. These are medicines of peace. They're going to bring you the medicine. That's why I just showed you that these are medicines of peace. They're going to bring medicine. So if you got a disease, and so let's just say that disease is this right here, disease to create violence within a person. These things start to create an angry, violent, hellacious, low self-minded person. Okay, so what I'm saying is these are the problems. You bring the solutions from over here to the problems. You don't have to, because herbs sometimes can help the disease, but herbs can't help your poverty. Medications sometimes can help the disease, but medications can't help your loneliness. So you'll see that those herbs and medication, that's why I ain't pushing that shit, because there's more that you are required to do. Medications and herbs are supplemental, meaning they are additional things that come into the system to either help you supplement or tools. Then herbs and medications are secondary. Vitamins and minerals, they are all secondary. These are primary, and then herbs, medications, and vitamins, not medications, herbs, and vitamins. They can be supplemental, but they will never be primary first aid situation that you go to. To change your trajectory of your issue, the first responder got to be these, and you don't feel that loneliness no more. Okay, so just these right here gives us enough to deal with the whole you. But when you're talking about herbs, when you're talking about herbs and when you're talking about herbs and medications and vitamins and minerals, herbs, medications, vitamins, and minerals is only going to deal with what? Herbs, medications, and vitamins and minerals ain't going to get you out of poverty. Herbs, medications, vitamins, and minerals, it really ain't even going to do nothing for your loneliness. So does herbs, medications, vitamins, and minerals take care of the whole you? Are they the thing that you really need to be buying? Or when you're surfing the internet, you keep seeing people selling you herbs, medications, and vitamins and minerals, but they ain't telling you that that's only a part of you and it ain't the whole solutions to the whole problem. Therefore, the owner's manual for your measly funky $50 is what we're offering as an understanding that it will take care of the total you. Now, with your owner's manual, you will not only get the things that are stopping here, but you also will get the herbs. You'll get the foods, okay? Because we don't do vitamins and minerals and meds, but you'll get the foods, you'll get the herbs, and you'll get the spiritual tendencies, and you'll get all of these nature-based interventions and all of this stuff that'll help us out with each and every one of these. We can just start walking them. And then it also is going to tell you about singing, laughing, dancing in your owner's manual. So then that's going to bring you what? Joy, peace, love, bliss, stillness, and visions. Will show you how to have those things as well in your owner's manual, all for a funky measly $50 $50. If you guys are interested in that, please DM us and we'll get you the information. So you see that this take care of everything. Herbs and medications and vitamins and minerals don't. Okay? Okay? Any other questions? I haven't seen anyone else teach this. I like it. Oh, thank you, Martha Vineyard. We appreciate it. Okay? We appreciate it. Hey, look, ain't nothing about the best I can tell you. As good as a teacher is somebody that can teach you something, right? And so that means that somebody that can teach you something new and teach it in a new way. And so my new way is to try to be simple, but my new way is also to try to be thorough as I possibly can to make sure that all of us got the information that we need. Now, yes, I do talk a lot of biological, scientific stuff, but I always like to try to connect it to the spirit, because there's a lot of us that need to know that this ain't about a belief. You don't have to believe in this for this to work for you. This is not something that you have to not go to church for to do this. You can still go to church and have your honest man. You can still believe in Christ, God, and have your honest man. Because when you go down to the hospital, y'all not talking about religion. Them folks in there just trying to help you with your health. Let me do the same thing. Stop trying to be too religious and try to be too spiritual with this bullshit. Man, this is a health tool. Let's use it for our health. Okay? It ain't nothing more than a health tool. That's all it is. And if it could be useful as a health tool, let's utilize it, especially if you don't go down, you don't want to go to the doctor. You don't want to take meds any longer. You don't trust the doctors. You don't have the money for the doctors. You don't have the insurance for the doctors. You in a critical spot where the doctors done gave up on your life. You need to have another healthy alternative. And I believe in the bottom of my heart, I've been doing this since 2018 as a business. I built myself from this. I know this works. I'm over here in South Africa now. I got a home card and everything still in America. I'm living off of this. This is living, breathing testimony that this stuff is working, and all I'm doing is using birthday. I'm not doing nothing else but getting all this birthday, and we're doing magical miracle things. Okay? But y'all don't think shit stink, and you don't want to go back to simplicity. So because you don't want to impute these in your life, then you're hooked on the pill. Okay? And I'm trying to get you to stop being hooked on the pill and get you hooked on the thrill of being in this particular paradigm. See, if you were hooked on thrills, you wouldn't need a pill, because the thrills give you endorphins that would be painkillers. So it's the thrill of life. Stop taking the pill. I have hypothyroidism. I have hypothyroidism. What can help? Jonisha, the first thing that can help is you got to stop being so untrusting. Okay? You got to stop being so untrusting. Okay? You have a very big, doubtful mindset. Okay? Jonisha, you got to learn how to trust people. Everybody ain't out to get you. That's messing with you. They have a little bit more of those things. Now, watch this, Jonisha. Hyperthyroidism is number 5 on the chakra list, and it's going to be talking about calcium, okay, and potassium. So I know off the rip that you have problems in one of these. Which one is it? Now, me, I'm going to say calcium. But Jonisha, if you want to talk to me, let's talk. Did they say you got calcium issues? I'm pretty sure you do, but you can tell us. Remember that the 5th chakra represents the throat chakra, which represents the thyroid, and this is talking about calcium and potassium. Okay, Jonisha, what are your calcium levels? That's the one that I'm concerned about. And then also, if you got out of whack calcium levels, then this also not only going to lead to thyroid issues, but it's also going to lead to hormonal issues. So way before you got the thyroid problem, you had hormonal imbalances, because the thyroid is a part of the endocrine system, which is your harmony. Okay? Doctors haven't said anything about that. I think I have hormonal imbalance. No, the doctors will. You got a blood test, right? So, Jonisha, they gave you a blood test. When you look at your blood test, look at your calcium, your blood work. Don't try to trust the doctors in telling you about this type of stuff. Okay? Look at your blood work. Are you taking vitamin D pills? Are you taking calcium pills? Anything like that? Or you just got the diagnosis? So I think I have a hormone imbalance. Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. Okay? But the bottom line is hyperactive, right? So let's just get to the remedy. It's hyperactive, so you can't do any seaweeds and iodine and stuff like that. Let me see. Janisa say yes, D3. Right. So if you got vitamin D issues, then you got calcium issues. Vitamin D and calcium go hand in hand. Okay, but anyway, we knew that because of the thyroid issue. So no problem. I'm just trying to walk you through what you should be doing. But at the end of the day, you want to slow down this. So the best herb for a hyperactive thyroid, a overactive thyroid, is going to be an herb called bugle weed. Okay, bugle weed is the best herb for hyperactive thyroid. Okay, a hyperactive thyroid. With a hyperactive thyroid, you're going to see that yourself, you're going to have low energy. You're going to see you start losing weight. So Jonisha, have you started losing weight? Okay, because sometimes that's the first thing that goes is you'll start either have a problem swallowing, maybe you have a swollen thyroid, then you start doing that, or you'll start losing weight. You start getting skinny for no reason. You just be like, what the hell? I can eat whatever, still can't get. I'm losing weight. It's hyperthyroidism, okay? So no, I have a goiter. Okay, so you got the goiter, okay? Yeah, so same thing though. Get that bugle weed, okay? And then you also want to get something that can help out with any kind of growth and stuff like that, right? But I would just start out with the hyperactivity first, because that might end up being everything that you need. But if they've already diagnosed you with goiter, and you know it's a goiter, and if you want to go off their diagnosis, then that's on you. Now, if you want to go off their diagnosis for goiter, then the best herb for goiter is going to be bladderwrack. But if you want to go off my diagnosis of hyperthyroidism, hyper. I don't know if you said hypo or hyper. I thought you said hyper. So if you're going off hyper, because that's what you said, hyper, then you don't need no bladderwrack. Because bladderwrack got too much. I know you say hyper, but then you just said they said a goiter. Okay? So for a goiter, you need bladderwrack. For hyper, you need bugleweed. Which one is it? You see what I'm trying to say? That's what I'm trying to get you to see. You can't do both of them. One of them gonna cause you a problem. So you gave me two diagnoses. But you know, with goiter though, it could be underactive and overactive. To be honest with you, with a goiter. So I mean, it's all good. It's just that you're in a tough spot. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's overactive with a goiter, you really got to play the balancing act between the bugleweed and the bladderwrack. You know what I mean? But that's what's gonna kind of bring you back a little balance. But you're gonna have to play the balancing act with that shit, because you got an overactive goiter. And again, it could be, like I said, a goiter could be hypo and hyper. And so you're gonna have to play that balancing act. You gotta know the symptoms to know which one you're gonna be needing. Because again, that's playing defense. You see what I'm saying? It's going back and forth from hyper to hypo. Is playing defense, and you can't do bugleweed in the hypo. Then you got to switch the bugle bladderwrack. Then you can't do bladderwrack in the hyper. You got to switch to bugleweed. So bugleweed and bladderwrack are your two herbs to play around with. But unfortunately, it sounds like you already got a very big imbalance. So you're having to play around with those two herbs. Get your owner's manual, and let's put you all the way back. Pieces back together again, okay? Get your owner's manual and let's put you all the way back together again. All right? Anybody else got anything else before we wrap it up, you guys? I appreciate all of the love, all of the concern. If you guys got any other questions, if not, we're going to get up out of here. Not being present, Shadid said, yes. Good afternoon, you my brother, and everyone else listening. Yes. Man, I appreciate all the love, man. That's one big thing about it. I appreciate the love. I am still here for my people. If you guys need herbs, if you guys need questions answered, if you guys need anything, please feel free to reach out to your homie HerbMan. All right. I love you guys, man. Please be careful today. It was a beautiful day out here. So go and have yours. We'll be back the same time, same back channel tomorrow at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please go tell somebody about your homie HerbMan. I love you guys. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And until next time, love HerbMan. Peace.